All right, welcome to another episode of Livewire Sports Media. And like I told you before in the last video, I did have a video for DeWanna Bonner yesterday, but apparently I I didn't have no sound in that video, so I had to do it over. And me doing it over right now means that I will start by saying, DeWanna Bonner, you knew exactly what you was doing. You know why? Because the fact of the matter is that now you want to come out on IG. You didn't come out on IG for the last week or so, 5 games or so, but you lay low. Then rumblings came out about you now wanting to be with the team. The team wasn't a fit for you, but you knew that when you signed to a $200,000 contract, unprotected, by the way. So you wanted it unprotected because if you had it protected, you would have had to stay stuck with the team. You know what I'm saying? And then the team would have tried to find a trade partner, which they did try to find a trade partner to your liking, but couldn't do it because of your contract. See, if that was the case, if you knew you was coming to the end of the fever, because I think that you and Alyssa Thomas, your other half, I think y'all conspired for you to come here. And Alyssa went to Phoenix and she said, oh, well, you know what? You go to Indiana, take their money, make like things ain't sweet over there, make it look good. And then all of a sudden, you get out. 14 games into the season, and you bailing on the team. You made it seem so good, so sweet in the press conference when you got signed it on. Then you guess what? When you got your little record, guess what you did? Oh, I never played in front of this crowd. Yeah, y'all had never played in front of a crowd like this because you know why? Y'all never had no motion. So you thought that coming to Indiana was going to be a cakewalk. It was going to be just like any other team. It was going to be everything. You thought you was going to come in. They was going to cater to you because you've been in the game for so long. But no, that wasn't the case. See, the Indiana Fever are like the Lakers. No matter how bad they play, how they are, Lakers fans is going to be true Laker fans. You know why? Because they expect excellence. And the Indiana Fever fan base expects excellence, no matter who's in that uniform. And we could criticize Caitlin Clark for her play. We could criticize Kelsey Mitchell for her play. We could criticize Lexi Hall for her play. We could criticize Aaliyah Boston for her play. But you know why? Because the fact of the matter is that we expect excellence. You came there thinking that because you're a veteran that everything was going to be sweet with you. Then you came out here today and wants to post you're in a Jay-Z, you know, talk about quitter, nah, and all of that. But you thought that it was gonna be easy for you. You know what I'm saying? Talk about quitter, but when the time comes, let's just make sure the apologies is just as loud as the disrespect in due time. DB. Okay, so what? You couldn't do that in Indiana? You couldn't get, see, you thought you was gonna get those same calls that you got in Connecticut because nobody sees you, because they respect you as being a veteran in the league. But no, the Indiana Fever don't get calls like that. I mean, you'd be lucky if you got a call. If Kelsey Mitchell, AB, and Caitlin Clark can't get calls, what makes you think you're gonna get calls? You think, oh, you got a easy whistle, so you're gonna go play for somewhere else, and it's gonna look good for you. It's gonna look good for your image because you're a veteran in the game. Nah, see, you fooling yourself. You know, you were fooling yourself. You were full of yourself. You know, see, the thing about it is, you washed. Lexi Hall is a younger player, and she rightfully so needed to take your spot because you wasn't producing. You was whining, complaining, jumping down, acting a fool. You know, trying to get calls, looking frustrated, looking out of sync, looking bad. See, for you to been a veteran, you should have used your veteran swag and gather the troops together and say, "Hey, calm down. Let's play. Let's play to the advantage. Get the calls that we need." But let me play something by Annie Constable. If you haven't followed Annie Constable on X or on TikTok, you might need to, because when she break news, she breaks the news.
I'm here to bring you the information directly from the horse's mouth. Now, the topic at hand is DeWanna Bonner and the Indiana Fever. Let's get into it. As we've all learned by now, DeWanna Bonner has officially been waived by the Indiana Fever. But what led to this decision when both parties entered into a contract a mere 4 months ago? The Fever signed Bonner this offseason, a two-time WNBA champion, to help this young core bring the franchise back into title contention. The Fever have only won one title in 2012, and prior to last season, they had not made the playoffs in 7 years. So while experience is an important factor in helping a team return to title contention, so is fit. And what I've learned from multiple sources is that from the onset, the fit between the Fever and Bonner was not a good one. After 3 games in a starting role, Bonner was moved to the bench in favor of shooting guard Lexi Hull, and 6 games later, she was done with the Fever. The Fever originally cited personal reasons for her absence, but what I learned later, again from multiple sources, was that the team was actually actively shopping her on the trade market. The issue with finding a successful trade option is obviously Bonner's $200,000 contract, which is unprotected. But the WNBA has a hard salary cap, which limits teams from making mid-season trades in a significant way. So when the Fever couldn't find a successful trade option, their only other option was to waive her. Or, they could have sat on her contract, but that doesn't benefit either party. The situation we're looking at now is that teams will have 48 hours to pick Bonner up off of waivers, but there are only 2 teams with the cap space to do so: the Golden State Valkyries and the Washington Mystics. Another note to this whole picking Bonner up off of waivers or not is multiple sources have indicated that Bonner is not going to be picked up off of waivers because teams have been advised not to do so. Why would that be the case? Bonner is in her 16th season in the WNBA. Now, you may be wondering why that matters. Well, I say that to say that when you're a player of her stature, again, a 2-time WNBA champion, you do have some say in where you end up. According to multiple sources, Bonner has a few locations that she's willing to play in, although she has one that's top of mind. More on that later. So if you're a team who knows a player like Bonner does not want to compete with your team, you don't gain much by picking her up off of waivers, considering that the trade market is so limited in the WNBA. After 48 hours, if no team picks Bonner up off of waivers, then she becomes an unrestricted free agent, at which point she could sign with any team for any amount of money. So the situation now is that Bonner's preferred destination, again, according to multiple sources, is the Phoenix Mercury. The situation in Phoenix is tricky because they have only about $88,000 left in cap space. Now, some people might think that's an issue given that Bonner signed with the Fever for $200,000. But if she
All right, so you listen to what Ann Constable has to say about the situation with um the Indiana Fever. So if you think about this, the Indiana Fever brought in DeWanna Bonner and hoping that she will um be able to provide leadership. But see, DeWanna Bonner thought coming in that she was going to be the favorite. They was going to cater to her. They was going to rearrange everything around to her, knowing that this was CeCe's team. that there was a specific play style that needed to be had in here. See, DeWanna Bonner thought that, well, if I came in, they paid me this much money, I was going to be the number one option. No, you was going to be a role player. You was going to play your role. You was going to do what it takes to win. And you didn't do that. You didn't took what it was, you didn't sacrifice. See, you have to sacrifice to order to win. See, you wasn't playing a line alongside Alyssa Thomas to where she had your back. She protected you. You could have do whatever you wanted to do. See, and then the bad thing is you play for Stephanie White. And leading to Stephanie White knew this was going to come down to it. Amber Cox made one of the biggest mistakes by bringing her in, knowing that her and Caitlin Clark had a little rift last season. Regardless of what Caitlin Clark may say or wanted her there, the pieces never fit. If it don't force it if it doesn't fit. See, DeWanna Bonner think that she was going to come in and get all the whistles, get all the glam, get all the attention, and think that she was going to easy make a all-star appearance again with the Indiana Fever. But that's never the case. You averaging 7.1 points a game when you was averaging 15 last year, but you couldn't transition because you, in a better lack of words, your bones was too old to run up and down the court. So you want to play in a half-court set that you could just lag around and use energy when it's need to be here and there. But you made a piss poor decision. You made an enemy out of the Fever fans, and rightfully so, because you sabotaged us. You knew good and well what you was doing. And again, I think you and Alyssa Thomas was behind it the whole time, and knowing what it'll be. Excuse me, knowing what was going to happen. Now listen to Amber Cox, what she had to say on this matter as well.
Yeah. Do you kind of detail? I think she talked about how it didn't exactly go how she wanted in that. What exactly that entailed for you guys and her?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, DeWanna's a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer, one of the best that's ever played our game. We were really excited when she decided to come here in the off season, and as we got into the season. She just expressed that she didn't feel like it was a good fit for her. We talked through that. We had conversations. Obviously, we made some adjustments to lineup, some of the things we were doing. And we just couldn't get it to a place where, it felt good for her. And, so as we got further along in the process, we explored trade options. And then just, it's pretty early in the season, given the level of DeWanna's contract, we just couldn't find something suitable. So at the end of the day, we respect her status as a veteran in this league. We had the opportunity to bring Ari back around the timing with the 10-day wait period. So we just felt like it was best for all parties to part ways. Wish her nothing but the best. Sorry it didn't work out, but we move on, and we're excited about the team that we have on the court, and yeah.
The decision to have her not be with you guys was listed as personal reasons. Was that a team decision, or was that a Bonner thing?
All right, so whatever Amber Cox got to say, I think she needs to go as well, because she was the one to help put the roster together. Knowing DB should never been a choice to come to this Fever team. I would have left her out. I would have went another direction. You had other options that you could have do, but I'll touch on that in another video as well, because now that the Fever has money, I will get into that in another video later tonight. DeWanna Bonner, you lie, sabotage, deceit, blindsided, pull a coup with the Indiana Fever. Now the Indiana Fever had to pay you half, 33% of your salary, which was $67,000. Now you think that you're going to land in Phoenix, where it's going to be sweet for you. You think that you're going to land over there in Phoenix because you think that it's going to help you navigate your way back, or you going to get a title. See, the best thing for you should have did was just to set out and retire. go on about your way. But no. See, the Indiana Fever, if I was smart, I would have suffered, make you suffer. I would have hold your contract. I would have hold you. You would have never played this whole season. I would have never made it easy. But it wouldn't benefit the Indiana Fever because they got games to win. They got injuries that's on this team. But you sit away for 5 games, collecting money. Then all of a sudden come and say, oh, it wasn't a fit from the start. Okay, if you knew it was a fit for the start, you shouldn't have signed. You should have just walked away then. You should have walked away from the time you went through preseason. Before the season started, you should say, hey, I'm gone. I can't do it. But no, you went into the first 3 games, thought you was going to do everything possible to see if it's going to work. No, it didn't work for you. Then Natasha Howard unfollow you, but I guess she's following you again because she shows you on X. These are the things that makes Fever fans upset and mad because boneheaded decisions from the front office catering to entitled people like DeWanna Bonner. When your time is over, you should come in as a vet and guess what? And help the team. Sacrifice, but you didn't want to sacrifice. You think you could score 20 points a game when you are nothing. Nobody. A peon. Pathetic. Now you want to enter your inner Jay-Z? Come on. You don't want me to enter my inner Tupac. And we already know how that would end for you. So I'm just going to end this video like this here. Respectfully, non-respectfully. DeWanna Bonner, you are a disgrace. To the Fever fans, to Caitlin Clark, and to everybody in the Indianapolis area and the Fever organization, you're a disgrace. And as for Amber Cox, I think it's time for you to go too. You're one and done. You put a bad roster together. DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard should have never been a part of this team. We had options. You choose the latter. Like, comment, subscribe. Until the next episode of Live Wire Sports. If you don't know, now you know.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing. Live Wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.